To say there are a lot of stereotypes in the world is like saying there's a lot of fish in the sea. It's a pretty obvious statement to make. Now, I'll admit, I laugh at stereotypes. Sometimes it's uncanny how spot on they can be. But just as many other times, they make me think, really? What? My chosen profession is librarianship, and I feel like we get particularly picked on, and that there are quite a few negative stereotypes attached to what we do that aren't really warranted. I'm going to tackle 5 stereotypes about librarianship that maybe aren't quite as spot on as you thought they were. Stereotype number 1. All librarians are grumpy old women. According to statistics, 21% of library school graduates are men. The average age of librarians is 45, and 13% of librarians are under the age of 35. So we're not all grumpy old women. A lot of us are women, I'll give you that much. And as for the grumpy part, that really hasn't been my experience either. Stereotype number 2. All librarians do is sit around and read and shush people all day. There are as many different kinds of librarianship as there are people in the world. Do I get to read for my job? Sure. But other crucial parts of my job include collection development, teaching lessons, helping people do research and avoid plagiarism, weeding, inventory. There's a whole lot of behind-the-scenes work to librarianship that nobody ever sees. Stereotype number 3. All librarians are super conservative and old-fashioned. I mean, just look at the glasses and the buns. Librarianship actually has an incredibly liberal history. The American Library Association celebrates things like fighting against censorship, equal access to information, and the freedom to read what you want. As for old-fashioned, look, I'm making a video! How old-fashioned could I possibly be? As for my glasses and my hair, well, my hair's barely long enough to fit in a bun, and my eyes needed glasses long before being a librarian was a part of my life. Stereotype number 4. Librarians don't tell you anything you can't find out on Google or Wikipedia. Google is not a source. It is a search engine. You couldn't put it on a bibliography for a paper. Also, I don't have a problem with Wikipedia for pre-search, but it's really not good for research. Anyone can edit it. I can edit it. The fact that I can edit it, I sometimes find terrifying. Wikipedia isn't even the tip of the iceberg. It's more like the snowflake on the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more information out there that's quality and you can count on it being correct. Things like scholarly journals, research databases, atlases, encyclopedias, almanacs, dissertations, scientific studies. Stereotype number 5. All librarians are super nerdy and do weird things like memorize the Dewey Decimal System. There is an undeniable nerdiness factor to librarianship, I will give you that. But that's also the thing that makes me so impassioned and excited about my job. I was lucky enough to go to a college when I applied undecided that they put it in a different light to me. They said, "You're not undecided, you're multi-interested." I think that that same trait is what makes me a good librarian. My background is in English, but there's so many other things I'm interested in and that I want to help patrons find information about and access. Things like science, math, history, you name it, let's dig into it. There's so much more to learn. And as for the Dewey Decimal System, I will admit, I took cataloging like a lot of people in library school do. But memorizing the system wasn't something I consciously did. It's not like I sat down one day and said, I'm going to learn the Dewey Decimal System. It's just as I was cataloging and as you look for things, those numbers ingrain themselves in your head. So those are just 5 stereotypes about librarianship, and there are plenty more out there. Again, we're not all grumpy and old-fashioned and mean as you might think we are. So that's it from me for now, Internet. Take care. Bye-bye.